Okay. Hi there, everybody. Welcome. It's good to see you all. So sorry I have really not been here out of pocket. And when I did finally show up, I looked like the devil. So thank y'all for being forgiving and understanding. Um, so, yes, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And it's officially the Christmas season. So that is very exciting. And I, hey EBT, hi TJ Cook, Brenda Felden, welcome. So glad you're here, Brenda. It's nice to have you. Hey Nancy Schmidt, Scarlett Summer, how are you? I made a live from the Get Go Hi chat. We'll have to go over there and look at it, Scarlett. Hey Lisa. And Emma Allspaw, welcome back. Hey Bebop, Diane, good to see you. Hey Charlie Faith. I think I got everybody. I didn't call out who's number one, though. Who's number one today? Let's look. Ah, Elizabeth Grossman. Welcome, Elizabeth. Hey, Full Moon. Good to see you. Okay, Ellen B. Very good to see you. Scott, Southwest by West. Very nice. Patriot Angel, welcome. Kathy R. Welcome. And are you that girl? I think you are. Hey, Lady of Angels. Good to have you here. Okay, everybody, let's jump in. Hi, Hannah Bell. Howdy doody. How you doing? All right. All that foolishness aside, it's so foolish. Okay. So where I live, hey KD, welcome. Good to have you. Lots of new people here. That's very cool. I like it. Hey Rhonda Grace, welcome back. Okay, so yeah, so the bullying in the true crime community is off the hook right now. It's really crazy. Thank you. You can tell it's changing color. It's cool. Okay, so maybe you guys will look at the microphone instead of looking at me. I am weary. Oh my God, it has been crazy since like 2 days before Thanksgiving up until today. So it has been wild. So I'm tired, as I know all of you guys are. And I don't have not a stitch of makeup on, and so I look rough, but I missed you guys, so I wanted to come here and say hello, and let's see, what kind of trouble we can get into. So I do recognize that the bullying has gotten crazy and intense. You run into a problem when you get into this whole tit for tat kind of stuff. It gets lost. Who's the bully, right? Who's the bigger bully? Who started it? Who's the victim? Everybody wants to be a victim, and yet everybody wants to engage in bullying. But when their feet are held to the fire and they're saying, hey, actually what you're doing is being a bully, then they say, no, I'm the victim. I'm just standing up for myself. So that's the problem with retaliation, right? And if you're a Christian, or you've studied the Bible or whatever, is vengeance mine? Is vengeance yours? I don't know. I think God said vengeance belongs to the Lord. So why do you want to stay away from vengeance? Well, normally because people that set out for vengeance when they feel like they've been wronged somehow, those people that set out for vengeance, they generally end up being the bad guy. The person who is seeking revenge from having been bullied on some level, they actually end up being the worst of the two, because they feel entitled, they feel empowered, they feel righteous, and they take it too far, and then they end up hurting people. I think most of us, the majority of us, normal, rational people, we recognize when a child or a teenager is being mistreated. We recognize bullies, mean girl groups, and all that crap. We recognize that when we see it, and the greatest majority of us would stand up for a kid that is being bullied, right? I mean, most of us wouldn't feel like we had to know the kid, or that we would have to know the parents of the kid. If we were at the mall shopping or whatever and ended up seeing one kid being mistreated by another kid, we'd intervene somehow, whether it was to stop the immediate bullying or to sort of be kind to the kid that got bullied and kind of be nice to him and help him try to get his mind off of, the way he had been treated. But where we run into trouble is we don't recognize when it is an adult. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, sorry, there's a phone call that was coming in. And so when it is an adult, however, we fail to accept, or we fail to be moved maybe by the fact that there may be someone who is legit being bullied. I mean, they're experiencing a great deal of humiliation, shame. Maybe they're the focus of targeted lies. It can be horrible to be isolated, have a group of people telling lies about you, and you have no recourse to try to tell the truth because you got a group with an orchestrated lie. And so it can really put someone into a really dangerous situation. And if they get pushed far enough, if there's enough loss of dignity, if there's enough humiliation, if there's enough powerlessness and loss of control, then it can even go as far as to make people consider suicide. What do you do if that ends up happening? Well, then the bully will just say, no, I didn't cause it. I didn't do it. I didn't make that person hurt themselves. So anyone who's capable of engaging in targeted, ongoing, systematic bullying, they lack empathy. They don't have a connection to human beings, and they don't have that human experience of kindness, right? And so if the person, their target of their bullying, if that person does end up harming themselves or someone else, then they don't care. They don't go, oh, well, man, I really feel, I should have slowed down. I shouldn't have taken it. I just took it too far. They don't do any of that. It's just more of the same. Oh, well, was there a choice to do it? I didn't cause it. Why are you blaming me? I didn't mean it. So it's kind of horrifying for people that do have empathy, for people that do care about other people. It's kind of horrifying to watch. It's kind of scary sometimes even. So we had an instance here where I live of some adult bullying that played out, and it was surprising the end result. So I thought that I would play some of that. Okay? All right. So here we go. Let me share my screen. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. That doesn't look right. Why did it do that? Hold on. Share screen. There we go. Now it looks right. Now this man, all this played out in a place called Katy, Texas. And the Katy Independent School District is a rather interesting school district because it's award-winning for multiple years, right? It's the place that everybody wants their kid to be educated, right? So this guy gets up in front of Katy ISD and he begins speaking. Now you're going to notice this man here is the one speaking, and he was the target. He is an adult now, but he was targeted by school-age bullies when he was young. Now, 35 years later, he stands before the Katy Independent School System Board of Education, right? What you're going to notice, though, when the video starts, is down here in the bottom left corner, you're going to see a picture in a picture, and it's going to be of a nicely dressed man wearing a suit. And he's listening. And who is that? Well, it's this fella right here. And he is the, what do they call it? The superintendent of the Board of Education for Katy ISD. He's a big guy. He's got a doctorate in education. He's been around quite a bit. Well-respected guy. And I thought, wonder why this guy is speaking in front of the school board and complaining about bullying, and the superintendent is in this little box down here on the bottom. And then I found out, and so shall you.
Barrett. I graduated from KSD in 1983. I started in 1975 with Mr. Lance. My legal name is Greg Gay. I was bullied, unbelievably bullied. I started out and I had teachers that bullied me. I had kids that bullied me. Even the coaches, I had nobody to turn to. One day at lunch, I had my head shoved in the urinal.
Now the superintendent is interested, isn't he? He jerked his head up. Now his mouth's open a little bit. Now Greg Gay has the superintendent's attention.
It busted my lip. I had laid on the ground in a fetal position as the kids kicked me. I got up, I rinsed my face off, I walked out of the lunchroom, walked straight to the principal's office, and he told me, these kids will grow up someday. They won't always be like this.
Okay, so now it has dawned on the superintendent what is about to happen, because now he's sat back in his chair, and you're going to notice he begins to laugh. Now, if you look, the other members of the school board are not laughing. And let me remind you, this is Katy Independent School District, an award-winning school district across the United States of America. It's ranked every year in the top 50 school systems in this country. People come in and buy their homes here 100% just so their kids are in this school district. The price of houses is higher in Katy ISD because of the school system. And this is the guy who's in charge. This is the guy that made it happen. It's kind of crazy.
But yet, here I am, covered in urine from laying on the ground underneath the urinal. My lip was busted, and they sent me home. Well, I went home, and I got the 45 out of my father's drawer and put it in my mouth. Because at this point, I had nobody in the school system to help me. Is that the way this is going to be? Lance, you were the one that shoved my head in the urinal.
Mr.
Thank you.
Tell you what, this is unbelievable.
You want to debate it? Because I got witnesses that were there when it happened.
Next speaker.
So then they go to next speaker. They just completely ignored this guy
Introducing
who
Venture
has
X.
admitted that he was bullied so badly by the superintendent of the Board of Education when they were kids. And when he confronts them, rather than the guy being an adult, apologizing, he's laughing at the man. The man has just admitted that the day that he was shoved into a urinal, he had people pee on him. The principal says, hey, they're not always going to be like this. One day they're going to grow up, and then they're not going to be mean. That's how the principal handled it, right? Kid goes home, gets out his dad's 45, and considers ending his life because of what this man right here, Lance Hind, the superintendent of one of the most award-winning school districts in this country, one of the top in Texas, because of the way he treated other kids in high school. You see, he was a really important kid in high school, right? He was a big athlete. Everybody looked up to him. When he's called out as an adult, he still doesn't own up and say, you know what? I did you wrong, which is what that man wanted. I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong to do. If I could go back, I would fix it. And I am sorry that I treated you with that much disrespect. Right? So he lies. He tells the guy, it didn't happen. He told people in the school district this never happened. It was a big. Now, some people, if you really dig into this story and you start looking for the specifics, you are going to find people that are going to come out and they're going to say it was all politically motivated and that they were trying to get the conservatives off the board. You're going to hear all the tired old political rhetorical BS. But look, knowing what I know about people, his reaction certainly appears to be one of a person who is very uncomfortable because it was fact and he simply doesn't know how to respond, and so he laughs. Right? Now then, moving forward, after all of the denials, more proof offered up, this big ongoing, drama going on in the school system, finally, Dr. Hen decided, wow, I better resign. So let's listen to his resignation. Let me get this. Yeah, that works out good. Okay. Everybody can hear me? You can hear me? Yeah, Brenda says that's horrible. Good. That means y'all can hear me. Okay. So let's go ahead and listen to the resignation.
President and members of our community, I will, please forgive me, I'm going to read. And effective January 1st, 2019, I will resign and retire as superintendent of Katy ISD.
All right, now I want to stop it right there because I think it's important to note. All right, this guy has been one of the most respected guys in education, right? He's one of the big ones because his school district has been incredibly successful. And the story then emerges from a man who has proof, and then more people came forward and said, yeah, Lance was horrible to us when we were in school. He made us the butt of jokes. He physically assaulted us. He humiliated us every single day. We didn't want to go to school. It was embarrassing. You never knew if he was going to call you out or not. This idea of loss of control, humiliation, pressuring people, this whole thing came out. And ultimately, the pressure became so great, he had no choice but to step down. There was no other choice for Dr. Hint, right? Now then, did you hear as he is saying to them, I'm leaving, right? And this was a full auditorium, or, where they were sitting. I'm resigning, and there is a large crowd there, and they all begin to clap. Listen again.
I'm going to read. And effective January 1st, 2019, I will resign and retire as superintendent of Katy ISD. Coming home to Katy.
Now, that's what I wanted to really pull out for you guys. Yeah, the applause. This man went from hero to 0 in just about 4 or 5 months' time, right? Hero to 0. Because it was unveiled, it was revealed that he was a bully. Multiple people were bullied by him, but the form of bullying that he used was humiliation and shame. Public shame. Never ending embarrassment, humiliation, and shame against people he decided he didn't like. Maybe they were the wrong people because they didn't have all the money that his mommy and daddy had. Maybe they were the wrong people because they weren't as smart as old Lance. Maybe they were the wrong people because Lance was, came from a higher socioeconomic class, right? Maybe his mommy and daddy were important and his bully victim parents were not important. Whatever. This guy found a lot of reasons, allegedly, to target others and to determine it is okay for someone like me to expose these other people, their weaknesses, the things that make them feel shame, the embarrassment in their lives. It's okay for someone as great as me to humiliate and shame this other person because they are just not as high on the socioeconomic strata as me and my parents. He caused pain, allegedly. And then you fast forward 35 years. What would you think? 35 years that the victims of the bully would have forgotten about it? 35 years later, oh, it's okay. They didn't treat me so well, but shoot, that's all right if they, it's okay because now he's a big, important doctor of education and he's holding an important position and, super successful in his career. It's okay. He's probably a really nice guy now. He probably would never bully anybody. Well, you know what? When this guy got up and said, hey, I was bullied. Your friends, you and your friends, y'all urinated on me when I was a kid, and I went home and got a 45 out and considered putting it up against my head because of you. Was he filled with shame? Was he filled with embarrassment? No, he laughed. He laughed. He laughed. And the other guy said, you want to debate me? You want to make these people think that I'm lying? I bring with me proof. And there were other people that stepped up and they told their story. And when this guy resigned, Mr. Important, Mr. All-Powerful, this guy who kept getting votes after votes, so many friends, oh my God, if he had had a YouTube channel, he would have had at least 40,000 subscribers, if not more. If not more. But when people saw the truth about who the real bully was, it didn't matter that it was bullying that took place in childhood. It didn't matter that it was bullying that took place 35 years ago, when the true bully, the person that was hell-bent on shame and humiliation and degradation of another human being, when that bully had the spotlight turned on him, people applauded. The very same people who had voted for him, the very same people that had said that he was a miracle worker to make Katy ISD one of the best school systems across this nation, when they realized that he had lied, he had misrepresented himself, that the reality was he caused incredible humiliation and shame and degradation of another human being. For what? For his own motives, for his own selfish narcissistic needs. Maybe he was having a slow day in school. Maybe he was bored. Maybe he was trying to make some girl think that he was tough and a big shot. Whatever reason, he stuck another kid's head into a urinal. And that kid went home and put a gun in against his head. And he didn't forget it, not for 35 years. The amount of humiliation and shame was so horrible, he could not get his mind free of it. And this guy laughed at him. And when he laughed at him, when he laughed at that old man's shame and embarrassment about having had his head put in a urinal, everybody realized that Dr. Hint, in fact, had been the real bully, that he was, in fact, the true liar, the true manipulator, the true person hell-bent on narcissistic supply. And it didn't matter. He realized the gig is up. I can't lie anymore. I can't mislead people anymore. They know who I am now. They've seen the truth about me. I can do nothing about it. So all I can do is step down. And when he stepped down, those same exact people that had voted for him, those same exact people that had called him a hero because he had done such a fine job with the school system, they applauded his resignation. They wanted him out. I'm telling you guys this to take joy, laughter, happiness, to feel good, to feel powerful, to feel invigorated because another person has been slandered and harmed and humiliated and treated, basically had her head shoved in a urinal. That is sadistic, and it is the mark of a real live bully at work. Now I want to talk a minute about Jim Jones. Jim Jones, I'm not going to go through the whole story because we're all true crime people. We all know who Jim Jones is. We all know, right? We all know the story. We know what it is. You hear people say, well, I just wouldn't have drank the Kool-Aid. I just wouldn't have drank the Kool-Aid. It would have been easy. I'd have just laid down, pretended, like I was dead. Well, what happened is that Jim Jones used the other members of the cult to target those members of the cult that would have pretended and laid down to die. Did it by doing things like keeping, logs, keeping records of the members and who they were and who their children were, which friends they were hanging out with, so that the people that were most trusted would be the ones that they would send, Jim Jones would send to go, hey, I think they may not willingly drink what they're supposed to when the time comes. And so, God will have favor for you if you make sure that your friend drinks it. In fact, don't even tell your friend you're going to put it in their drink. Just do it when they're not looking. It always makes me a little bit nervous when we start keeping lists. Start keeping lists about people that are really private citizens, right? That's a really good sign that someone's got a problem with control and that they may be planning to do something that's painful. At the very least, it's a mark of someone who's quite unstable. Thank you, BZ. So, I don't know, y'all. I got a great deal of faith in my friends that I've made on YouTube. I got a great deal of faith in people in general. I don't have rose-colored glasses. I don't think every single person walking around is kind and nice and wonderful. I don't believe any of that. But I do think that the majority of people, by the time they get to be 40, 50, 60 years old, whatever, I think the majority of us value human life. We like animals, we have empathy, we feel love and concern. And even if there's someone that may say something against us that may upset us or may embarrass us, or maybe we want to, get back at them, the majority of us as adults will go, you know what, it embarrassed me. I wish they hadn't said that. But I'm not willing to lose my dignity to have like a Jerry Springer moment and scream and yell and carry on. Most of us are strong enough in our own identity. We're proud of who we are. We know who we are. That if there's somebody that doesn't like us, maybe somebody says something against us, we just kind of go, oh, well, they don't like us. It's too bad. I wish they did, but they don't, and that's on them. So I'm just going to go ahead and live my best life and have fun and do the things that I enjoy doing. And I don't care that this other person doesn't like me. I'm not even going to think about them. It is a rare person that becomes insanely obsessed for the destruction of another living creature. It's rare. It just doesn't happen very often. It's an odd thing. But I look at subscribers on YouTube, especially subscribers that don't really talk out, right? You don't go up on panels. Maybe you don't even really talk much in the chat. You're kind of like me. Well, I watch a ton of YouTube stuff. Majority of it I never comment on. I watch, I enjoy it, I give a thumbs up, and then I can move on about my business. People don't ever know that I was there watching, whatever it happens to be. That's how the majority of you guys are. Most of us on YouTube, we don't use our real names. We like our privacy. That's okay. But when you get people that are now cataloging what you're saying in a chat, what is it for? Is it to intimidate people so that they're not active in that channel? Is it to intimidate people to maybe try to harm the success of the channel? Or is it legitimately to move from one victim to the next victim? Anybody that has the audacity to make a comment, state an opinion that may be something you don't agree with, what are you going to do? You're just going to start just felling people like they're trees? Just walk around with a hatchet? You said something bad about me. Whop! Cut you off at your knees. You said something bad about me. Whop! Cut you off at the knees. You said something bad about me. Whop! Cut you off at the knees. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're adults. It doesn't make sense to think that simply because someone is saying something about you that you may not like, that now you have full license to inflict public shame and humiliation on them, to keep lists as if you are the Gestapo in Nazi Germany. You're going to keep list of people, of Jewish people. What are we going to do next? We're going to start telling people that go into certain YouTube channels that they have to have some kind of little star beside their name saying, oh, you're a Jew. You're going and hanging out at the wrong channel. It's crazy. Come on, it's craziness. It's craziness. Makes no sense. And so then you say, well, what is the answer? How do you respond to that? It's so easy. You just don't watch. You just don't engage. You just don't watch. You don't watch the public humiliation of others. You just don't be there to give the views, to give the money, to give the time. You just don't go into those channels. If somebody is being maligned and being harmed and being hurt systematically over and over and over every night, you just don't watch. That's the point. When a channel goes from getting about 4,000 or 5,000 views per video, when they're just doing regular no bullying content, right? Just normal, good, regular content. They're getting about 4, 5, 6,000 views per video. But then they start the public emotional assault on another human being to completely destroy them in their ability to have any type of YouTube channel. When a person starts that against another human being, and now they're getting 10, 15, 20,000 views, who's the one that's creating the problem? The bully that is being out, that is out for blood? The bully that's hell-bent on the destruction of another human being? Or the people that are giving them the views and the minutes of watch time? It's a soul-searching moment. If a tree falls down in a forest and no one is there to hear it, did the tree make any noise? Doesn't matter. Nobody was there to hear it. Doesn't matter if it made noise or not. So for these bullies that want to use their YouTube platform for the personal destruction of another human being, if you all flock in there to watch, the blood show, the bloodbath, you're a part of it. You're empowering it. But if you avoid the bloodbath, if you avoid the shit show, you just simply don't give the watch minutes, then there's no public humiliation because there's nobody there to watch it. It is the most asinine thing I've ever seen to watch someone systematically destroy another person's ability to privately engage in social media. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anybody that believed that it was well within their rights to stop another person from engaging in something that is very similar to a public utility. This person being so narcissistic that they believe that it is their right or their moral mandate to take this person down. It is the craziest thing, and it is dangerous. Because what are you going to do if the next time it is you? And let me tell you this, you really want to pay attention? Watch and see what happens to me after making this video. Watch and see if now it's my turn to be publicly humiliated, to have people lie about me, to have lists made. Watch. But I can tell you this, I never would have been that person standing there as they loaded up Jewish children and families on buses to take them and put them on trains. I wouldn't have stood there. Would it have been the death of me? Probably, but I wouldn't have stood there and turned other human beings in. Not for a minute. Never. yeah, but she lied and she did this and she did. Maybe, but you're going to tell me you never, not once in your entire life, did something that you were ashamed of, that you shouldn't have done? Not once did you ever make a mistake? Not once you never had a bill that was late that you didn't pay? Not once you never told a lie? Really? What if every single bad thing that you had ever done was aired publicly night after night after night after night after night after night after night? There was no escaping, and this was going to end up with you losing your job. Enough's enough. Just don't watch. My God, you get a channel, it goes from 4,000 views for a regular non-bullying video content. Start absolutely being vicious against another human being in a public forum. The humiliation and degradation is public. Calling people in this person's hometown. It's not normal. And you're watching, you're giving the views, you're giving the viewing minutes. You're the one, if you're watching that, you're the one that's going from 4,000 views. You're the one that's pushing that video up to 15, 25,000 views. And then you know what the algorithm does? The algorithm then shares it. So that public humiliation, the crucifixion of another human being, is now being promoted by the YouTube algorithm because of all the people that have to flock in there to watch the shit show. It's been going on for weeks. You know what's going to happen. Why do you keep going in there to watch? You know what else they did? They set up another channel to stream the bullied person, to stream all that person's videos. So now all the hate watching that's going on, she doesn't even get the views for the hate watching. This is systematic, it's ugly, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous to remove all hope from another human being. It's dangerous to push somebody into a corner. It's dangerous. And it says more about the bully than it does about the target of the bullying. I am not going to be a part of the very public humiliation and destruction of another human being. I'm not going to be a part of it, and I would really hope that you would rethink whether you are going to be or not. It's very sad. I honestly, Chris McDonough's channel was taken down for violation of terms of service. And it is my belief that this is violation of terms of service to have 25 videos, hours long each, targeting a single person over and over and over and over and over again. It is my opinion that is a violation of the YouTube terms of service. That is my opinion. And I could be wrong. I'm a nobody, and I don't mind saying I'm a nobody. But at what point does exposure of a scammer turn into assault?
2019, I will resign and retire as superintendent of Katy ISD.
Remember the cheering. Remember the cheering of people that previously adored this man. And the minute that the proof came out and people began to realize, wow, he really is a bully. He really has been lying to us all along. They're cheering his demise. Bullies always get it right back in their face. It may take a while, but it does come eventually. I think showing mercy at some point is probably an exercise in self-survival at this point. All right. Listen, people, I am going to be going live in just a little while, and we are going to talk about the Turpin family. All right? So I'll see you in just a little bit. But this was a video that really had to be made. The list is amazing. If you're a subscriber, are you comfortable finding out that you're on a list because you went into somebody's channel? Does that make you comfortable? Is that going to be enough to keep you from going to the channels that you want to go to and be a part of? For me, it will make me more active in that channel. I'm just not going to back down to somebody who, no matter how many flying monkeys there are, I'm not backing down. We've got to be kind to one another. We have got to be kind to one another no matter what. It all starts with you. If you tend to your own business and make sure you're being kind, if we all tend to our own selves being kind, then sooner or later, you got about 90% of the community that will be being kind. All right. I hate when I get on my soapbox. Whose job is it to keep up with that damn soapbox? You got to keep it away from me, 12-step woman. Don't let me have the soapbox. All right. I'll be back in a little while to talk about the Turpin family. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.